Hey, thanks for pressing play on our newest episode. Today, Paula and I are talking about summer, hottest trends, including the Face app and the new trailers coming out of Comic-Con this week. This, plus our Ugly and Awkward Moments of the week. Thank you so much. Shop lipandclip.com. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
I don't know what this is about, but I'm disgusted by your behavior.
Paula?
She's not my maid. She just comes and cleans my house 2 times a month.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 388. 88 is great. 88 is great. That was our chant when we were in high school, because we were the class of 88, and everybody's like, 87 is heaven. We're all boo.
Gosh, what? You'd have to get pretty dang creative for some of those years.
Ugh. You could do that. Everybody like, what's going on? Is this an alto school?
Yeah, I know, right?
We're Sisters Who podcast. I know I took us off track by chanting 88 is great. I can't remember the other one. What class? What was your two? What was it?
97.
97. Oh, so you were probably in heaven.
No, they didn't do that.
You guys didn't have chance? Or were you just so indifferent to it all you skipped the rallies?
Heck no.
Oh.
Oh, no, we were super... In fact, I was on the newspaper. I wrote the article, and it was a big damn deal that the seniors did not win the first rally.
Oh, yes.
It was huge.
Who won? Juniors?
The juniors did.
Because juniors are stoked because they're finally upperclassmen. My junior year was my favorite year in high school. Literally. I loved it.
The juniors had a poster across the field, the football field, because they had it outside for some reason, the rally. I don't know. They were trying to be different.
Sure.
And so all the football players from the senior team ran across the field and they tore it to shreds.
Violence.
It was so funny. So
that's hilarious.
I got to write the article about how, we lost the rally, and
they get offended like they're just supposed to be handed the win because they're seniors.
Well, you are.
I know, but what's funny about it is, especially in the beginning of the year, everybody should be super hyped and ready to go. By the last rally, you're just like an indifferent senior cat, where you're just like, I don't even have time to be here right now.
Well, I mean, our senior year, the last rally, I mean, they had us walk in on our own, and we were like sitting on everyone's shoulders, and
you walk into the middle of the gym,
and I forgot what song it was. I mean, I think it was "Don't You Forget About Me" or something, silly.
That's awesome.
It was just kind of cool. We're like waving to everybody, like, "Hi, goodbye, see you later."
They're all, "Fuck you all! I hated all of you."
I'm moving on to worse and far worse things than you'll ever be. And
I'm moving on to adulthood, where I'll be pregnant in 6 months, marrying someone that I'll be divorced in 3 years.
I'm moving on to horrible life decisions.
I'm moving on to my biggest blackout binge drinking ever my freshman year.
God.
I can't wait. I'll throw up worse than I ever threw up before.
If I had only known, I would have stayed another 4 years. I would have just started over as a freshman.
Well, you kind of do if you go to school, if you go to college, or you go into the real world and suddenly there's some angry 40-year-old looking at you 8 hours a day wondering why you didn't get your, typing done in the steno pool on time, making minimum wage with Kaiser benefits.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. That is exactly what happened to me.
I went to junior college right after high school, and I didn't hate it. It just was like, it felt like high school plus. Mm-hmm. But I went, and I did not run into too many people I went to high school with, and that was a blessing, because they either, joined the military, or they, jumped into the workforce, or went off to a prestigious school. I didn't go to the junior colleges that everybody else did. I went to Sierra, which was way out of the way. And maybe there were people there that I went, but college is so big and no one gives a crap about anybody. They're just trying to get through,
Right.
And so it's not like 4-year where there's, sorority parties and football games and stuff that everybody attends. But I think by the end of my second year, when I was about this close to a degree, I was just like, fuck this. I hate school. Why am I doing this to myself?
Right.
So I stopped going and got a full-time job at Round Table. So, wise choices when I was 19.
He should have been like, when you said, fuck this, why am I doing this? Fast forward 5 to 10 years. And then you would have been like, oh, now I know why I'm doing this.
Yeah. So 3 years later, I went back to school, got a degree.
Yes.
Because I was going nowhere. So, life lessons. What are you going to do? It all worked out. Anyway, it is the heat of summer. Everyone's children by now should be irritating their mothers.
Yes.
And actually, all the summer camps are winding down soon. And you just can't wait for school to start. So you sent your children off to the movies yesterday to see yesterday.
I know, right? Well, the last 2 mornings, Ryan's gotten up, taken a shower, gotten dressed, gotten ready, and I'm just like, are you going somewhere today? He's like, no, I'm just getting ready for the day. And I'm sitting there, in my pajamas looking like shit, and I haven't taken a shower in 2 days, and I'm just
having Pablo nestled in your lap.
Always.
You're like, what's going on?
I sat down and I absolutely had to talk with them the other day because I said, look, this house is destroyed.
Yes.
And I know it's not me because when you guys were gone, the house was clean. I said, I do the best I can to pick up the litter that you guys just, toss behind you when you're
you're in a movie theater
or whatever. Well, God,
this is not a freeway in the 70s where you can just toss out your litter and somebody will pick it up.
You can't just throw a burrito at the window and hit a motorcyclist.
Yes, someone's going to pay for this and it's not going to be you. It will be me.
And so I said, we need to get back to rinsing out our dishes. And I said, you need to start picking up your trash, or if you decide to, I love the fact that you guys cook. Olivia has perfected the egg.
Fabulous.
But
they don't clean.
The 10 shells that she, used to perfect this egg need to be cleaned up.
Right.
And the 5 pans that she used must be cleaned out.
There's no dishwasher behind you. There's no bar back.
Oh, there's
to pick
a
up after you.
I said, even if they
I don't mean the appliance. I mean a human,
an actual person, right?
A human. Yes. There's no assistant to pick up after her.
And then Ryan, I love that he likes to get creative and try cook different things, but you cannot leave a dead cucumber with slices on the cutting board and a half dead piece of chicken on there after you're done making whatever creation you're done.
Not to mention that I appreciate his energy in the morning. He has all that energy because he hasn't done much. So perhaps he needs to,
I think he's just bummed because right now all his friends are off, visiting family somewhere. So
yeah, they're doing the last hurrah.
They have no place to go.
Right.
And then I talked to Olivia and I said, Olivia, right now you have 3 ice cream wrappers in your bed. I said, those need to get in the trash. And she just kind of looks at me like, oh,
What is going to become of this young lady when she gets older? She is going to need to marry very wealthy so that
that's already been established.
She has to have a staff because at this point it's going to be, excuse me, Bitumen, I am prepared to defecate. Bitumen, I am prepared to bathe.
When she was 5 years old, there was this show on, I don't know if it was Disney or Nickelodeon or whatever. It was called Jessie. And it was about this girl from Texas that was a nanny to these super rich kids in New York.
Oh, yeah, I remember that show.
And they had a house man named Bertram. Yeah. And so Olivia had declared when she got older, she wanted a Bertram. And so when her grandparents were out here from Oklahoma visiting, she had declared to her grandfather that she was going to have a Bertram. He's like, a Bertram? He's like, what's that? And I'm like, nothing. Never mind. I'm like, let's just keep going.
Jeez.
I didn't want to have to explain that basically it was a house man that was going to do everything for her because that's one concept I don't think he'd be on board with.
It's funny because first of all,
I know what Mackenzie said.
Yes, we've discussed that there was the time when Mackenzie was about 4 or 5 when she wanted to know if we could pay people to do these things because she didn't want to do chores. She goes, can't we pay someone to do this? And I'm like, I like where your brain is. Yes. But daddy doesn't make enough money yet and we have a farm full of children. So that's not happening yet. You're the help.
Right.
Okay. And your pay is food. Get going. No,
right.
I didn't say that.
I know.
But I don't know where this elevated need for servants and help comes from, because it's not like we come from royalty. Our family they come from farmers. All of them. They were farmers for generations until, our parents decided that we would be spoiled. So we don't have any idea. What? You don't think we were spoiled? No, just because we had crazy parents doesn't mean that we weren't spoiled.
Well, that's the thing I don't get is it's just like we were spoiled, but at what cost?
At what cost? Yeah, I know. But we were not required to toil much. I remember getting in trouble and our punishment was to pull weeds.
Yeah.
Or sweep. That was a punishment.
Do the dishes,
Yeah, it's like you're being bad today. Go do the dishes. And it's like, what does that instill?
I was thinking, I'm like, what would be the things that I would indulge in if I actually had money at my disposal? And I thought about it and I said, the only time I actually felt really happy was when I had a house cleaner.
Oh my God, you loved having a maid.
She wasn't a maid.
Well,
you just had Allison. She said, she's like, how much was your maid? I'm like, she's not my maid. She just comes and cleans my house 2 times a month.
So you had a house cleaning service come and straighten up.
She came.
You should do that.
I mean, I can't now because it's expensive.
Well, when you start working again, you will.
Yes.
I know you. It'll be the first thing you do.
I don't feel bad about those things because Olivia was barely 16 months, I think.
What I'm saying is that the attitude is there already in the house. You know what I'm saying? You are Olivia. That's the thing. So for me, it's like, first of all, trust me when I say I am not criticizing. I think it's great that you want a staff. You should have a staff. They won't be live-in, but they will be yours. You will assemble a team to keep you up and running. And I think there's nothing wrong with that at all, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm all in. Okay, so clearly you are worn to the nub. Your children are getting to the point where they're going to be going to summer school next year if they don't knock it off because you've had enough. I get it.
Yeah, my little chat did nothing. I should take a picture of my kitchen right now.
Oh, God, don't. Just no. Because I know what it is. I've had those experiments. I know exactly what you're going through right now.
So this is the funniest thing Olivia said to me yesterday. So they did go to that movie and they saw yesterday.
Yes.
They loved it, by the way. But Olivia said, oh God, for whatever reason, you know how you can pick your seats on Fandango?
Yeah.
So I picked their seats and then Ryan said, he's like, the woman sitting next to me. I'm like, someone sat next to you? I'm like, there was literally 5 people, including yourself, in the whole theater.
That is fucking annoying.
It just bugged me. And so Olivia's like, yeah, she's like, Ryan didn't notice, but she took her shoes and socks off.
No!
And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, why didn't you guys get up and move? And Ryan's like, I didn't even see it. And I'm just like, why do people fucking feel right at home when they get into a movie theater?
Why do they act like they can just behave as if they're... If you want to act like that, stay home. Just do whatever you want at home. I mean, it's fine. No one's going to judge you.
This is what Olivia said to me. She's like, so when the lights came on and they left, she's like, Mom, I couldn't even believe it. She's like, they left all their trash behind. And I'm like, really?
Really, Olivia?
I'm like, do you want to live in that glass house and throw that stone, Olivia?
Seriously. Glass house meets stone.
She was so appalled.
I'm like, well, it'd be like, and guess what? If somebody walked in our house, they would be equally as appalled, Olivia. So anyway, you and I were talking before about how our summers were a bit different. Our parents would give us money and we would go to 7-Eleven and we'd fill up our little satchels with candy and goodies. And then we would go to the movie theater here. And back in the day when you didn't reserve seats, you could pay for one ticket, watch that movie, and spend the rest of the day walking through and watching all the movies. No one cared that there were, and I mean, we weren't the only ones. There were 15 or 20 kids all day movie hopping from seat to seat. And the only time you couldn't get away with it is if it was a brand new movie, especially at night. During the day on the matinee, you could watch anything and there would be like a smattering of, adults. And the rest of us would be, basically walking in and watching it for free. Yeah. And it was a great time.
Well, yeah, I mean, we'd have these giant purses, and I remember like popping microwave popcorn and like putting it in the bag, and then getting like sodas and candy and
just load up and then
loading it up for the whole day and
spend the day.
And I mean, I call these things purses very lightly. I mean, they were practically like beach totes.
Yeah, and no one even cared.
Well, I mean, the ushers back then were like, 15, 16.
They were
what were they going to do?
They didn't
stop us. They're just like,
they're just
whatever.
like, have fun.
And
they didn't care.
We'd pass the same guy, like 4 times, and he'd just be like, what do you want me to do? Tackle him?
I mean, the thing is that the only time I ever saw anyone get in trouble is when they tried to not pay for at least one ticket, where they tried to have somebody open up the exit door for them.
Oh, okay.
That was the only time I ever saw someone be escorted out of the building. But if you paid for a ticket and you just never left, no one cared. Nobody cared. It's not like that anymore because now you have to reserve seats and all of that stuff, which is too bad because that was a super fun time. But, Daryl and I, and this is how I know we're getting old, is we watched 16 Candles and we watched The Lost Boys, and then freaking The Goonies have been on like every day. And I don't like The Goonies personally. Daryl loves it, but it comes on. I love The Lost Boys. That's the one I like.
That's amazing.
So we're watching those, and I saw The Lost Boys in the theater as a kid, and I thought it was one of the best movies I'd ever seen in my life. I just loved it. And I turned to him and I said, you know what? I think the reason we get so offended that they're rebooting all of the 80s movies is because we thought they were perfection back then.
They are.
Like, I saw Top Gun in the theater when I was like 14 years old, and I thought it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. Now, I am not into that kind of stuff, but Tom Cruise was so cute back then, it didn't matter.
When I saw that trailer, I didn't realize how freaking old he was.
Okay, well, let's transition into our next subject.
Okay.
Because we're getting off. I am transitioning. No, I'm not. That's not what I meant.
What are you talking about?
I'm not transitioning. Oh. That just made me laugh.
I'm becoming a potato.
I've decided that I will be identifying as a vegetable. I am transitioning into celery. No. So Comic-Con is here. It's the week of Comic-Con. I have been to Comic-Con. I don't need to go back because once I've experienced a bucket list item, I don't feel the need to return to it.
Sure.
It was full immersion of all things pop culture, all things, comic book, whatever. So it's a really fun week if you've never been. Everybody who's into that should go. But what's really cool now that's kind of transformed during Comic-Con week is everybody releases all of their highly anticipated film trailers. So
okay.
Top Gun was released at Comic-Con, and Tom Cruise made a surprise appearance at Comic-Con.
Cool.
Which is why it was such a big splash, yesterday or the day before when it came out. Mm-hmm. I knew it was coming out, and I knew that I'd probably go see it just because I'm an 80s kid. It brings back a lot of great memories because, because of me being the age I am, I personally think the 80s was the best for music and movies.
Totally.
Everybody thinks their generation was better, but I'm sorry. I was in the 80s and even the 90s. I think grunge and all that's the shit as well. I love Singles. I loved all those movies, but the 80s, John Hughes was the best.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. So.
Well, even Ryan, I mean, he will agree that, certain eras were better than others.
Right.
Like I think what's going on right now he really likes. But I mean that's also current for him. But
right.
But I mean he thinks like the 2000s were lousy.
It's going to be funny when people are our age that grew up in the 2000s are like, there is no one better than Bradley Cooper, or there's no one better than The Rock. Which
I wonder
could happen.
if like the Tom Cruises and the Bradley Coopers and like the Leonardo DiCaprios are going to be like the Frank Sinatras and like the.
Well, I'm living for it if they are. So when Top Gun came out, the trailer, I watched it. I was stoked. I'm like, I'm so excited about it. And then there's always the people like, I hated Top Gun when I was in. And I'm like, so fucking what? Let the rest of us just enjoy.
And keep your mouth to yourself, Jesus.
Can we just let people enjoy things that aren't about Donald Trump for 5 fucking seconds, please? Can we just celebrate something that's positive the trailer's 2 minutes long. Can we just enjoy that, please, without somebody shitting on it? I mean, my God. It made me upset only because it's like, we need a distraction sometimes. It would be nice. Can we just be happy about it? And then the other trailer that came out that I was really excited about was It 2. Which is the scary movie that's coming out, and Tyler and I are Tyler and I are going to go see it. Now, the first one, I really enjoyed the first one. The second one has some amazing actors in it. It's got Jessica Chastain, Bill Hader. It looks amazing, and I'm super excited about it. I can't wait. It looks scary as hell, and so
I'm sure it is.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. But that's what Comic-Con's all about. So every day there will be some new trailer probably that will come out, and I'm just so ready for it. I love it. I can't wait.
Wow.
So speaking of all the reboots, they don't generally release the reboots. It's all the new exciting things, and there'll be stuff that we didn't even know was coming. I'm so excited. So exciting if you're there, and exciting for the rest of us who have YouTube, and we can see all the cool stuff that's coming out.
Yeah, really. This probably was a really exciting year for trailers.
Yeah. So I don't like when I watched Some Kind of Wonderful the other day. Do you remember that one with Eric Stoltz?
I love that movie.
Do you? First of all, on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like super fresh. It's like in the 90s, like 80s, 90s percentile. And I watched it, and I remember not liking it when it came out, but it was also when I was like 18, 17. And I think I just wasn't into it back then because I was watching The Lost Boys, which also came out that year. Oh, okay. And but I mean, think about that: The Lost Boys, Some Kind of Wonder. I mean, those are classics.
They're like cult classics, totally.
Yeah, and they all came out in the same year. That's amazing. So I was watching it, and I'm like, whatever happened to Eric Stoltz? Like, what is he doing now? He did Mask.
He did, but he did like more indie films, I think, after that.
Okay.
Mary Stuart Masterson, she did some films. Like, she was in that one that we liked.
She's still around.
And then Leah Thompson, she actually went on to have her own show for a while. And
I like that show. She still does
some stuff. But, I mean,
I liked her.
I think they were just like teen, young adult actors at the time.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, it was a great cast. And
it had some really good people in it. Yeah, really good people.
And they all played their roles really well.
They did. Even the bad guy.
I still maintain that their kiss scene was just like one of the best kiss scenes I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, when they're sitting at the Hollywood Bowl?
No, when she's teaching him how to kiss.
Oh.
In the garage, in the auto body garage or whatever.
Yeah, you know what? I'll have to revisit that.
You should watch it.
Well, I didn't see that scene last night because, or whenever it was on, because it was towards the end when he was taking her out on the date.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And, the ultimate date. Talk about bucket list.
God, I would feel uncomfortable with all that.
Well, she obviously was, but if I walked into a museum at night and my date showed me a ginormous portrait painting of me, I'd be like, you know what? This date has concluded. And I'm out of here, you psycho.
After he gave her a giant pair of diamond earrings, I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, that was his first year's tuition for college.
And she's like, I can't take these. And he's like, sure you can. He was obsessed. It was weird.
Well, he was weird.
Yeah, he ended up with the weirdo, so it all worked out. I read an article the other day. I was telling Daryl about it. He didn't find it as funny as I did. This couple they were high school sweethearts, and they had photos of them going to junior prom and senior ball together. And then they showed that along with their wedding photo, and they were all kind of the same pose. And everybody's like, oh, we're so living for this. It's so cute and everything like that. And one of the first comments was, sure, you're all full of joy and happiness on your wedding day when you're the ripe age of 20.
Yes, seriously.
It's wonderful then because, you're basically a child. And then all the comments, with the exception of like 1 out of every 10, they said, yeah, I have all these pictures too. And then the fourth picture is the day of my divorce, literally the happiest day of my life.
Oh my God.
And Daryl's like, well, that's very unsettling. And I said, well, because it doesn't work for most people. I do know some people who got married. They were high school sweethearts. and they're still together. And I think that's amazing. It's just rare. It's rare.
Well, it is. And not just that, but I mean, it's very difficult to accomplish a lot once you get married fresh out of high school, you know?
Well, you just really have to be simpatico and grow together and, you know, really have the same goals and the same there's got to be something that keeps you moving forward. You can't stay stagnant. You can't stay in high school mode. You've got to become an adult. And
that's what I mean is you know, you have to be encouraging to one another to, like, you know, accomplish something like go to college or, you know.
Yeah. You can't build a marriage on Instagram photos. It's got to be more than that. Okay. Speaking of photos, this is the hottest trend of summer, and it is the Face app.
Yes.
Now, I downloaded it. I took a photo of myself, and I was so disgusted. I deleted the app completely and said, I'm not doing this.
You're one of those.
Yes. If that's what I look like when I'm old, fine.
What did you look like, by the way?
Well, I think it was the lighting because I had really thick, heavy, wrinkled face. It didn't look real. And I'm like, I don't even have wrinkles, but I really think it was the way that I took the photo. Mm-hmm. I think I'm not going to do it again. But I think if I had tried a little harder, it would have worked. But I didn't like it.
Well, a lot of these celebrities, they have like really good ones, but I think they must be taking like studio shots.
Of course.
In order to get the actual like...
So then when you get it and then they use the Face app on that picture, it's going to look really good.
I mean, my face looked like it was melting off my head.
You did look like a little bit of a Mom and Jabba the Hutt combined.
I looked like Mom totally. But see, of course, mine was just a picture of me in the car. So, I mean, it was not like... I think you could see my seatbelt, but it was just like...
Yes.
Obviously, I wasn't trying super hard to find like, you know, a perfect headshot. But I thought it was hilarious. So and that's what Stephanie, she's like, why would you post this? I'm like, because I give zero fucks at this point.
Oh God, it was so funny, Paul. Stephanie, she's like, why would you do this to yourself?
She's the most vain person I know.
She is the most vain person. I'm pretty vain too, but I did it. I just refused to show it to anybody. I'm like, this is upsetting. I don't like it at all.
That thing was pretty damn accurate. I'm not going to lie.
Well, what was funny is how much you look like our mom.
I know. That's
why. But Mom does not look like melted ice cream. But it's just the aging process.
But that's because Mom has a chin and a neck. I don't. I'm just going to look like a
square,
a melted, you know, popsicle.
Hey, it's Grandma Otterpop. Can we go see her today?
Exactly.
That's so funny.
It's a hot one today, kids. Come on in. I got popsicles.
Grandma looks particularly melty today, Mom.
I think she's wearing makeup.
Oh, God. I just think it's funny how these things trend and then they just die, like insta-die. There's not even like a fade. It just goes and then gone, and then no one talks about it again. Like Pokemon Go. I love Pokemon.
I think what happened with the Face app is that people started to come out and talk about the dangers of this particular app. Is that when you agreed to download the app, you basically signed away your rights to your picture or your face.
That is true.
And they can use it for whatever they want. I don't know what they will use it for. Sometimes, you know, they're like, your face could end up on a billboard. And
can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Well, I'm just thinking, I'm like, no one would put that on a billboard.
They're going to look at it and laugh and go, oh, look at this melted American.
Unless they're going to put it on like a plastic surgery billboard in Mexico or something like that.
Yeah, they'll be like, you'll be the before.
Exactly.
All the third world country plastic surgery ads.
Who knows? I could end up in Hot Grandma's XXX or something like that.
Oh my God.
You know, with a fake body and like a butt in the air or something like that. I don't know. But she likes it. Look at her smile on her face. So,
you know, it's true.
So anyways, I mean, I'm already screwed, for lack of a better term.
Well, hopefully by then you'll, you know,
I deleted the whole app anyway. So,
oh, did you?
Yeah, just because I'm like, well, I don't want them to like be able to access anything else just in case. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, I read a thing and it said, you know, you might be afraid, you might be worried about what it said. Now, the servers are based in
Russia.
No. The app is from Russia. The servers are based in the United States. But the thing is that Facebook has the same exact thing on it. It said, we have the right to utilize any of your photos for our amusement whenever. And when you sign up for Facebook, that's basically what you're agreeing to. So
I just don't want to end up on like a Trump flyer. This is Louise from Louisiana, and she says,
right,
Trump is my president.
I think most apps are like that. And so I just think the fact that it was Russian. Now, I use a Russian app. Daryl and I use a Russian app, a Russian-based app for talking when he travels. And we don't talk about, and I refuse to send him nudes, even though he begs. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I go, this is like an open chat window. I'm not doing it. Stop it.
Anytime I've ever sent a nude, I never include my face.
Yeah, you told me that.
I don't ever do that.
But like Daryl and I will live stream, we'll like live chat. Like we don't use Skype, but we use this app that has it. And so we'll stream, like FaceTime on this app, and he'll be like, "Hey, what's going on down there?
Show me your boobs."
Yeah, and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "You know what?" And I said, "Come on, man. I'm not going to end up on Pornhub or anything, but we don't know who's looking at this while we're talking." Mm-hmm. So I'll do it occasionally. I kind of don't like the face he makes, though. He gets this really weird, very predator-like face whenever I show him myself on our video chat.
Very primal.
It's always like, yeah, do that again. I'm like, ew, God. Come on. I guess I should be glad. I mean, it is my husband, but
just put a thumb over his face or something.
I don't know, man. It's just weird. Anyway.
Band-Aid.
So, yeah. So, but I did it. I hated the results, deleted it. I said, I don't want to see my future. Those when they ask people. I
wonder if you could do body parts.
Do it and tell me.
No, I'm not.
Do you want to even know what your boobs would look like aged? Oh my God, now I want to know. Damn
I was thinking, like, what if you took a picture of your, like, lady part and then, like, aged it?
Talk about it looking like a sad old man.
Oh my God.
I don't know. That would be interesting. You know what? Someone do it. Someone age their boobs and tell us if it works. You don't have to show it to us. I don't want to see it
now. And mine are really big right now because I'm going to get to start my period.
I'm not into gilf porn, but I am curious what that would look like.
Gilf porn?
Grandma,
that's gross.
I installed a granny cam, everyone.
What is that called? Mature porn?
Mature. I thought it was gilf. I don't know. I don't know all the categories.
I don't either. I wouldn't even attempt to begin to.
Hell no.
That.
All right. You wanted to talk about Area 51 because it doesn't seem to be going away. I keep these little articles about the Folios who have agreed to charge into Area 51, which is a military base, by the way, which means that they would all be shot dead.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. But here's my question. So I guess this is confirming that it does exist.
Area 51 has always existed. The discussion has been that there are aliens or terrestrial research going on there. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why, but there's a significant magnetic field, I believe. Mm-hmm. There's some unusual shit that goes down there, but I don't think it is terrestrial or extra, like alien.
Yeah,
I just think it's the military doing the weird, crazy shit that, makes us so incredibly powerful and scary.
Well, and I told Ryan that the other day. We were talking about it, and I said, it's quite possible that they're creating viruses or, diseases or some sort of other weird,
warfare.
Biochemical warfare things.
I think nuclear. I'm thinking nuclear, especially with the
yeah.
Well, just because the magnetic field is so unusual there, which is why people think there's something else going on.
And maybe that rumor was started a long time ago just to make people believe that's what it was. I don't put
anything past the government to keep the mystery. She's the ultimate mistress, right?
And I honestly thought it was underground too. I didn't think it was surface level.
I think there is underground. I know they tested nuclear heads there. I swore they did in the 50s. I don't know.
I thought that's where they tested the Oppenheimer or the atom bomb.
Me too.
Somewhere out there.
I know they utilize. I know they do it in the ocean, but I do think that they do nuclear testing there, or did. Mm-hmm. I just think there's a lot of stuff that people would be terrified to know happened there, as far as the testing, because people would be afraid of nuclear fallout and stuff.
They would just never get close enough. That's the thing.
And they don't. It's miles and miles outside of the facility where their borders are, the entrance.
Well, the problem is that I just would hate for something. I would hate for people to think that they can just like walk to the front door and knock on it or something like that.
Excuse me, we are here to see the aliens.
Hey, what are you guys doing in there? My taxpayer dollars pay for this nonsense.
I am allowed. I paid for this.
I want to see what's going on.
I pay your salary.
Where, 5 miles out, they all just get shot down. And
yeah, the drones come out and you see this army of drones come out over the horizon and they're just like, oh shit, they weren't kidding.
All of a sudden they sprinkle powder and everyone disintegrates.
Oh my God. It's like, hey, it worked, you guys. Hooray! Our experiment.
And then the media just reports that the group that went to go storm Area 51 has suddenly disappeared at the
They
desert.
vanished. The mystery continues.
Perhaps they got lost and, but there is no remains.
You know what? I think it's all a joke. In fact, I read a little thing on it. The guy said, really this started out as a joke. But, there are some unusual folks here who take everything very seriously, and they might show up in their RV and, set up their lawn chair.
Takes next to nothing to get a crazy person to do just about anything.
Oh,
so
anyway, all right. So don't go to Area 51. You will die. And it's whatever's out there, none your business. None your business unless you work there at this point.
I mean, yeah, really. I mean, do we need to know everything?
I'd like a little mystery still. Like, I don't want to see Daryl's hemorrhoids. I don't want him, knowing about my periods in close detail. Some things can remain a mystery.
So do you dump your own lady garbage then?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Victor's always dumped my lady garbage.
You know what? If he does, it's very rare. Mostly it's usually me that does it. After like a week, I just discard.
The only time I insist on doing the lady garbage is when Pablo's gotten into the trash. No. And there's just shreds of
oh no, that's just vile.
Lady garbage.
One time
I found a pair of my underwear in the living room, and then another time they ate the ass out of my pajamas where I had started my period. Both of them. There was a big giant hole in the pajama bottoms, and I'm like,
doesn't that make you want
filthy animals?
Makes you want to vomit.
I'm just like, what is it?
You know what?
What is it about this?
We had, I think it was it Sunny or my other my Sheltie previous, who ate the underwear out of everything. He ate all the underwear crotches all the time, and I'm like, I don't know what this is about, but I'm disgusted by your behavior.
Pablo's the one that does it, which doesn't shock me. I mean, literally, I think he would crawl up my vagina and exist in my womb if he could.
All right. Well, there you have it. Let's do our ugly and awkward moments of the week.
You know how I've been telling you that I've literally had like a migraine headache all week?
Yes.
And for some reason, it's just been in like my right sinus that radiates into my head. So I feel like I've been doing lines of pollen because I think I'm positive it's got to be like an allergy migraine thing.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad.
So I've been taking like copious amounts of like aspirin, ibuprofen, like whatever I can get my hands on. And I've just been feeling kind of like, Yeah. And so the other night, I took the kids to McDonald's just through the drive-thru. I'm trying to get their order. They're barking it at me. And then the lady's like, what is that? What? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what? This. And Ryan's like, I'm like, what do you want to drink? And he's like, Powerade. And so I'm like, okay. And then we need a Powderade.
Powderade?
And she's like, what? And I'm like, what is it? I'm like, what's it called again? He's like, Mom. And he's like, Powerade. And I'm like, oh, a Powerade.
That's it.
And so I was just repeating words at that point because I was just like, I'm so
I get really weird when I'm on migraines. When I have a migraine, you've heard on the show. I don't know if Daryl edits it out or if he leaves it in, but I like stutter. I can't find the words to say. Migraines are really mad. They're crazy. They make you do stupid shit. That's for sure.
I haven't been able to use my words all week. God, it was terrible. Well, and then I had that phone interview earlier this week, and I said, the words just escaped me. I'm like, association. And so, by the way, I didn't get that job.
What? After all of Princess?
I don't know why.
Princess is coaching?
You know what's funny is that I actually thought I did quite well.
I'm
pretty sure I answered all the questions, pretty efficiently and well, and sounded like I had good experience, but for whatever reason they didn't want to move forward. So I'm just guessing that based on the fact that they denied everyone in the first round,
yes,
that they're just being extraordinarily picky.
Yes.
And I don't know what exactly they're looking for. So,
well, you know what? I don't know if Princess assisted you in any way. And by the way, ladies, please don't name your daughter Princess. Just don't. Yes. Or if you're going to, that's fine. But make sure they have a middle name that they can use. Or you give them a nickname at some point so that they don't have to tell people when they're 40 years old that their name is Princess. It's just a suggestion. You can do whatever you want. I'm just saying it's cute when they're little, but when they're 40 years old trying to make a living and they're trying to talk to other adults and they say, yes, my name is Princess, that's unacceptable to me.
Yeah, it's a little awkward.
It's just not my favorite name for a human. I mean,
so
I don't know.
I just got the sense that they're looking for something particular.
Yes.
But it's the kind of thing they'll know when they see it. Yeah. And that's
fine.
It is, but it's kind of a dangerous route to take because
they're not going to have anybody.
Well, you may not ever see whatever it is that you think you're looking for.
Or maybe there's someone that they want to promote within and they're just going through the legalities of it all.
They wouldn't have contacted a temp agency then.
That's true. So. All right. Well, here's my awkward moment, and it's just the usual awkward shit as I put in our outline. I was doing my so I'm still doing this yoga class.
Yes.
And it's really challenging because my goal is to perfect, not perfect, but my goal is to be able to do and understand the names of all the poses. I'm still just a beginner, obviously. I have very weak upper arms and a very little core strength. And so this is kind of my way of doing that. I'm just trying to do something to improve my body. Uh-huh. And I do it in the bedroom, so I have privacy. And there is a couple of boxes because, we completely painted our bedroom. We have one room left. We have one wall left, and we haven't gotten to it yet. So I have some boxes of some things that we took off the wall and stuff. And so I literally look down and go, do not kick this box with your bare leg hands because you will hurt yourself. And no less than a nanosecond in time do I turn and perfectly kick this box with the middle leg hand toe. I mean, perfectly. I have a bruise. I was like, why? What is wrong with me? Why does this happen?
You're like, I just told myself not to do that, and only an effort to probably just do it.
It's almost like I said, Jamie, kick it real hard.
Do you think if you hadn't told yourself you wouldn't have kicked it?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think I said it just maybe I was being hopeful.
You're like, toe, meet box. You're going to kick in about 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, exactly. So typical awkward shit.
Well, I think that's a wrap for today. Anything that you would like to add before we sign off?
Shop lipandclip.com. There's this new product, and I might put it on Instagram if I can get my lips looking good. It's the lip tattoo, and it's a 2-sided lip liner plus fill-in.
I saw that. I was thinking about getting it myself.
Yes, well, I got the neutral. It's a little orange on me, so I'm going to go. But I've decided because, first of all, it full on stays. It does not bleed. It does not come off. It is amazing. The lip tattoo from lipandclip.com. I think they're having a deal right now where it's 2 for $12 or something, which is actually ridiculously cheap because I think I paid $12 for one. But I'm getting the red. I'm going to get the bright red because there's nothing like a smudged red lip to make you look like a hot mess. So
yes, that is true.
I'm hoping it's not too orange. I hope it's got a little blue into it so that it looks a little more, for my skin color, it looks good. But I'm going to try it. I highly suggest that you check it out because it's great, especially for summer when we're all melting. it won't come off.
Exactly. Well, and I actually just ordered some makeup myself, and there's a lipstick. It's just the finishes are all matte.
Ooh.
And I got that because it's good because you have a lipstick, but for summertime you don't want anything like really goopy or anything like that.
No,
you just want something that just stays and
just tints your lips.
Kind of. Yeah, I think I got like a lighter pink or like a matte pink, like mauve color, because I don't want to go super dark for the summertime because, you get kind of bronzy and you just try and do lighter makeup so you don't feel so heavy. And so
I will say that about lipandclip.com. The lip lines, all of the lips, they're really, really good.
They are.
I would definitely compare them. I put them up against, I have every brand. I love all makeup, all brands. And I would say that this one definitely... They all compare to the high-end brands of any lip color that you could buy.
Oh, yeah. I would put it on...
I don't know about MAC, but close.
No, but whatever countertop at a department store makeup is.
Yeah.
Better than drugstore. Way better than drugstore.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a step up from that.
You might want to get some stuff for yourself because you might notice that things are changing for you. It's definitely getting hot. So, although we're in the freaking 80s this week, I don't know what's going on.
I know, but apparently everyone else is suffering. They issued a heat warning for like half the country.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Was it like Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and then like upward?
Well, like Daryl's daughter lives in Virginia, and it's supposed to be 102 there. And that's really, really hot. And what's worse is that because they're on the eastern seaboard, you add that humidity. Ugh. It's brutal.
Yeah, I saw, what was I like? I think it was Arizona. They're like 110 or something like that. But I don't know if that's normal.
That's normal.
Oh, God. How could you live like that?
A lot of people do. Vegas, Arizona, they're in the high hundreds. Not high hundreds, but they're in the mid all the time. All the time. Yeah. Well,
the only thing I can think is because it's dry.
It's a dry heat.
Bearable. I don't know.
Yeah,
but...
It's a dry heat. I did read that, we really need to say goodbye, but I did read a football player died of heat stroke today.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's really freaking hot, people. Take care. Bad. Hydrate. Take care of your elderly. Take care of your pets. Take care of those babies.
Visit uglytruth.com. Go to Amazon. Look for some cool products, maybe. Cool water. Stay cool. Just check it out. Learn how to stay cool this summer. And we will see you on Wednesday. Bye. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.